Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Ministravaganza is going to be delayed. We're going to talk about what is going to be announced, what the schedule was, and what they are planning to do. If you guys are new here to the channel, we are still giving away that $70 Amazon gift card for a Shadow Collective starter box for Star Wars Legion. Of course, if you already have a Shadow Collective starter box, how did you get that so early? I've seen some of them start to show up. And if you are not interested in Star Wars Legion, of course, if you happen to win, you can use it for whatever you want. You could get yourself something else. But if you want to enter to win that, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. So, yes, Atomic Mass Games released last night that for health reasons, they are going to be taking a look at their schedule. They're going to postpone the event for Ministravaganza, and of course, we all hope they get better soon. Everybody feels better soon. Hopefully, this is something that they can get through without any additional difficulty, because it stinks to have to plan out an event and then have to change the dates. And of course, in these times, I think we all need to be flexible. So hopefully, everybody who was planning on watching can be flexible. I certainly was planning on taking some time off of work and was planning on, doing the watch party thing and doing the restreaming. I was actually planning on recording a video talking about all of the streams that I was going to be covering. And this was the schedule. And now the schedule may end up being something like this, maybe slightly different. But we're going to talk about some of the things that were planned for Ministravaganza, as well as what we may actually see and things like that. So I was going to be doing the opening ceremony, which it kind of just warms things up, lets you guys kind of sets the stage for some things that you're going to be talking about, and also usually talks about those open play events. The things, basically they will put out a special scenario. Like Legion was supposed to have an open play event. I think just about all the games we're going to have some kind of open play event where it's like, hey, go play, use this specific scenario, and then report back your results. And then at the end, usually like for the closing ceremony on Saturday night, they would kind of talk about, all right, so it looks like the Rebels won, or something like that, which is pretty cool. And then the very next stream was going to be Legion, Hive of Scum and Villainy. That's in more of an informational stream. So again, if you look at the icons here, right, you're going to have different types. You're going to have paintbrushes, which are usually painting streams. Those are usually just showcasing models and painting techniques and something related to hobbying. Those are usually the least informative, but sometimes there are still spoilers and leaks and surprises that show up in those. But those are usually the least spoilery. So I wasn't going to cover too many of those, although I was going to cover the Armada fleet Thursday night, which is the rapid reinforcements, customizing your Armada fleets. Of course, we were all hoping, or at least all Armada players were hoping, that they might talk a little bit about rapid reinforcements and maybe the possibility of additional rapid reinforcements. That was certainly on my wish list. But we're going to have to wait and see. Now, as far as the other symbols, if you see the little bubble with the asterisk, those are more of like talking panels where you're more likely to get developer insight, where you're more likely to have people talking about what the plans are for the future. Here is a lowdown, a spoiler preview event for maybe the next expansion, or something that we've kind of announced or hinted at but haven't shown you yet. Things like that. And so we're going to have that for Legion, which a Hive of Scum and Villainy sounds like it's going to be related to maybe Shadow Collective or Battle Forces, or maybe something new, maybe some of the additional stuff that we haven't seen yet, like maybe the new Boba Fett that they're working on that we haven't seen. Again, different than the revamped Boba Fett, but maybe it would have been some stuff like that. Maybe it would have been more stuff from Shadow Collective. Maybe it would have been all of the building rules for Shadow Collective and more of the Merc rules. I think there would been a lot of information and things like that. And it may have also given us a preview of Din Djarin and Grogu. That's some of my guesses for what they may have talked about, but that's kind of the cool reason to watch, because maybe they'd have something totally different. Like maybe they'd have just had, the bunch of Cantina aliens from Episode 4 of New Hope, and they're all coming to Legion. Hey, you know what? You can be a Figrin Dan and the modal nodes or something like that. But also X-Wing, the Battle of Yavin and Beyond was also going to be an information panel that was, I think, a lot of people were going to be very excited about. The Battle of Yavin, we haven't seen any of the cards. We know they're going to be like oversized, larger cards. That information will probably come out. Maybe some of it will come out this week. Maybe some of it will be delayed until they can actually sit there and talk to you a little bit more. Because I think the interesting part is the Beyond part, because we already know the Battle of Yavin is announced. They actually kind of talked about that a long time ago. I think the first Ministravaganza, they actually talked about the Battle of Yavin and how they wanted to do this pack and some of the pilots that we would see in there and things like that. And so it was really cool to see that it re-announced again. But the Beyond is also interesting because it's kind of basically hinting that they may talk about the future of X-Wing and what is going to be coming after the Battle of Yavin. I know a lot of people looked at that and said, well, that's great for Imperial and Rebel players, but what about all the other factions? And I have a feeling that they would probably address that in that panel, so I would certainly be very interested. And of course, I was planning on restreaming that panel, and of course, doing the watch party where we, gather about a half hour before, and I throw up the stream and talk about what we expect to see, and then kind of turn myself off for their stream, watch AMG's stream, and then once they're done, turn myself back on and say, all right, so let's talk about what we saw, and that sort of thing. And then rapid reinforcements, even though it's labeled as a painting stream, again, sometimes we do get a little bit of information in those painting streams. And even if not, I still think it'd be really cool to talk about, the thought process behind, hey, let's make a PDF, a free expansion for all the Armada players. I just wanted to hear AMG talk about Armada, and I think that that'd be really, really fun. Moving on to Friday, there was a little bit less that I was planning on doing the watch party for. Now, Marvel Crisis Protocol, love the game. I do cover it some, but not as heavily as the other games. So, that's a maybe on uncovering that one. Again, I'm not 100% sure if that's one that I was going to really cover or not, because I definitely wanted to take a look at the Legion hobbying stream, the Need for Speed Legion hobbying. And it makes me wonder, could this be where they kind of show us those swoop bikes that they teased last Ministravaganza? We know that there's some, like a card out there, if one of the AA5 pilots references other mercenary vehicles, and I'm like, oh, could this be more mercenary vehicles to kind of make a Merc vehicle build become a thing? I thought that was interesting, and that kind of goes right into the next Legion Outer Rim Showdown, a Legion gameplay video. My guess is that we're going to see maybe some Shadow Collective, forces kind of, on display and demonstrated, so that would be a fun one. And then we have a couple of painting streams, which I would probably watch, but maybe not do the watch party for. And of course, that's, there might be spoilers in there, there might not, and I think that's what we're going to see. Moving on to the plan for Saturday, we've got we're opening up with some painting streams, and then moving into gameplay for Marvel Crisis Protocol. But once we hit about 1 p.m. Pacific, which is 4 p.m. Eastern, that's my time, the most anticipated stream, full of surprises, a Star Wars stream. This one I am especially interested in. It's labeled as an informative stream. Again, we were talking about these symbols. We have paintbrushes for painting streams, exclamation marks for informational streams, and then we also have the the D20, like the dice symbol, or maybe that's a D12 for gameplay. And of course, gameplays are fun because sometimes you see new unit cards in action. Sometimes you see new units in action without the unit card, and you have to kind of listen very, very carefully to see how these units play and how they're talked about. And that's certainly interesting as well. But Full of Surprises doesn't list any kind of game. It doesn't say that it's Legion or X-Wing or Armada. It just says a Star Wars stream. That could be anything. And that sounds really exciting to me. I mean, my guesses go anywhere from a whole new game to, maybe new stuff for all of the games, or maybe new stuff for one specific game that they just wanted to be a spoiler. It could be a whole new wave of stuff for Legion. Maybe it's, a reference to Luke fighting Vader in episode 5 when Luke says to Vader, I'm full of surprises. What if it's like a Jedi duel scenario? Maybe, again, there was talk about Vader down like last year, and so, like, who knows? what Full of Surprises could be. So I'm very, very, very interested in that one. I have a feeling the fact that they left that one vague is deliberate because I think they definitely want to surprise us, hence the name Full of Surprises, and that is the one I'm definitely most excited over. After that, we've got an X-Wing community repaints, which is interesting. Like, are they going to feature other people's repaints? And I think that that's a cool thing to do. Because I certainly do painting contests like that all the time. I have one running right now in my Discord. So again, community paints are fun. Some more painting, Superhero's Best Friend painting animals, which is interesting. Like, you got your big dog from Inhumans and stuff like that. And then the closing ceremony. A lot of times closing ceremony is usually just kind of them hanging out and doing a little painting and kind of casual chatting, and it's a chance to maybe get some final Q&A in there if you wanted to be like, hey, you guys mentioned this before, but could you clarify, so on and so forth. The closing ceremony is usually a good place for that. And that's kind of where it ends. Then after that, my plan was to maybe have a video on Sunday or Monday that was kind of summarizing everything that we've learned, and then during the course of the next week, maybe going into detail on those specific things that I think that you guys may have wanted to know, even up to and including potentially Marvel Crisis Protocol as well. Again, fun game, I love it, and I do cover it some, so I just don't cover it with as much detail as I do with the Star Wars games, because that's kind of where I started at. But I mean, if you haven't played Marvel Crisis Protocol, you're missing out. It's a super fun game, and I really like it, and I wish I could play it a little bit more. But it's super fun. I mean, all these games are super fun, so who knows what's going to happen. So what have they said? They basically did say that that they're going to look at some of the stuff, and they're going to have some of those reveals originally scheduled for Ministravaganza that will come out over the course of this week. So I think that's pretty cool. So it's not like we're not going to get any news. We should get some news, probably at least one reveal this week, maybe two reveals this week. We got a couple of days left in the week, I think I hope everybody feels better over at AMG, and leave your well wishes for AMG in the comments. Hopefully everybody gets better and they can reschedule Ministravaganza soon. Now, interesting thing is that Gen Con is actually coming up in a couple of weeks, and I wonder how much. I wonder if anything gets rolled over into a Gen Con sort of demonstration or announcement. I mean, Fantasy Flight used to always do the in-flight report, and I don't see that on the schedule for this year's Gen Con, and so it makes me wonder if AMG is going to have a media or a press kind of event, or if it will just be here's our new game, it's on the floor, and again, and maybe I should, I had a feeling that they would probably talk about that during Ministravaganza at some point, maybe closer to the closing ceremony. They may have talked about that, so that's kind of something that I think we'll all be interested to see, because I always really enjoyed FFG's in-flight report. It was a great way to kind of get a quick preview, over the course of maybe an hour and a half, of everything that was coming out for the next year. And so I wonder if AMG will do something like that. Again, it was at the last live in-person Gen Con, at least that one that I was at back in 2019, where AMG was officially revealed to the world, and so was Marvel Crisis Protocol. So big origin story for Atomic Mass Games at Gen Con. So hopefully there will be a return to form, and we'll see some AMG news at Gen Con in addition to Ministravaganza. But that is going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Big thanks to all of my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the force be with all of you, and live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. And so say we all, and this is the way. And where are my socks? Oh no!